Howdy y'all, welcome back to the channel. I'm James and this is Clearwater Fishing. So I'm recording these videos a little bit out of order. At this point while I'm recording, you guys haven't even been introduced to this boat, which I'm going to record that on a much warmer day. But today's goal is we're going to install a new Livescope head unit. Now what I mean by a Livescope head unit, all I'm going to do, let's switch it around here, is change out, I can't even see. There we go. I want to change out the Garmin unit. It is a EchoMap Plus 93 SV, not the Ultra, so it's kind of out of date and it's not been getting that many updates. I think it's even considered a discontinued model. So what we have going on is, well, let's take a look at it, is we have this GPSMap 1222. We're going to install that, but first I have to get rid of the old Garmin unit. And also, during this episode, we're going to be installing the perspective mount right here. We're going to be installing that as well. And we'll see how all this stuff fares out on the water. I am personally excited to do this because that screen is so much bigger than the previous one, and having the 12-inch helix at the front just makes the little 9-inch look puny. So I thought it would be best to pair it up with another 12-inch unit. So we're going to have a couple 12-inch units at the front. I'm pretty excited. Now I will tell you, it is extremely cold in here. Outside is, I think, starting to getting below 20 degrees. And I've had my heaters going in here in this shop. As you could tell, it is uninsulated, so it's not holding heat very well. But it was below 20 in here when I got here, and we roughly got it almost to 40. So I'm going to turn my heaters back on. I'm going to kind of do some of this in time lapse, and when I find some important moments here, I might stop and show you guys. But it's pretty cold, so I'm going to turn my heaters back on, and you guys aren't going to have very much audio. So the two biggest things about this install is obviously removing the old Garmin unit. I have to install a new power cable because it has a different power connector. And lastly, we have to adjust the current mount to fit. It is, man, I can't even remember the brand of it. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. It's a precision sonar mount. Hopefully I can make it work with my GPS map. I'm sure it will. If not, it comes with the mount as well, so I can use that one anyways if I want to. So without any further ado, I want to turn my heaters back on first, and then we're going to dive in. So I'm going to go ahead and apologize. I have no idea what's going on in my time lapse. I don't know if it's because it's so cold, but it doesn't want to work consistently, so you guys are going to miss out on the time lapse. What I have found is that there's 3 different types of screw heads on here. One's a hex head. Kind of knew about that one. That's why I brought the Allen wrenches. One's a Phillips head. Okay, that's pretty common. I have those here. But what I didn't know is the square heads. So I didn't have that stuff here, so I had to run back home and grab the square head stuff. Because, you know, there's square heads on here as well. So, pretty good security defense against me. Preferably, I wish it didn't have the square heads, but oh well. We're going to keep moving, and well, I'll just keep giving you guys updates as we make progress. But it's still cold in here, so I'm going to go turn my heater back on. We'll see y'all in a bit. So it's still blistering cold in here. I've made some progress. I'll let you guys see real quick. Let's take a look real quick. I've got the graph mostly removed. You know, I got to still work with a power cable, but I've got it apart. I got the main graph. I had to take the Humminbird off as well, just to, you know, give myself a little more room to work. And as always, you always find a few issues, especially with the used boat, on how people put things together. So first thing is we had 3 different kinds of screws. Okay, big whoop, run back home, get the right bit, and move on with life. And the second thing I've found is he had both graphs wired to the same power source, which only has 1 fuse on it, up at the console, a 5-amp fuse. So I got to do some homework and see what fuse the Humminbird Helix needs. I don't really know. I'm guessing it probably is a 5 amp fuse that it needs. I'm surprised that fuse isn't blown because of having 2 fish finders on it. Now with 2 12-inch units, I need 2 different power sources, which Nitro comes with 2 different power sources for the front graphs. You just have to wire it that way. It was pretty easy to find. When I went up to the console, I found out what color the wires were, and they're actually labeled, which is really nice. So I don't know why this individual didn't take the time to wire this correctly. I do know that the GPSMap needs a 6 amp fuse. I think the Helix needs a 5 amp fuse. I'm not 100% sure. That's why I got to go home and do some homework. And I am going to be, well, actually neither one of them are fused in line right now. So if you're going to fuse them both to the same power source, each separate line will need its own inline fuse, which this does not have. So this offered protection if both graphs together pulled more than 5 amps, which doesn't protect each individual graph, which is definitely not the right way to be doing things. So what I'm going to do is wire them individually, use the console fuses to protect the system, cut the inline fuse off that comes on with the GPS map, mainly because it's going to be under all that stuff. I mean, you guys have already looked at that mess. I mean, I've literally spent probably the better part of an hour and a half getting in here, and you know, if I had an inline fuse underneath here, well, that's going to be a pain in the butt to get to. So definitely don't want to be doing that. So that's why I'm going to make sure they're both fused up front appropriately. So tomorrow I'll just double check and make sure the lines that I think have those fuses are correct by powering them up, making sure they have 12 volts, pulling that fuse, and then making sure the 12 volts go away. Super easy process. It's definitely not complex. And it's just halfway doing something is not the way I like to do something. I like to do it the right way the first time, and then maybe I never have to go back in there ever again. But I know pulling 2 graphs on this one line definitely will not work. I would have to go up to a 12 amp fuse, and neither graph is protected at that point. If I did that, I would definitely want to do inline fuses, which I'm not going to do. So we're going to do this the right way. It's getting cold, it's getting late, so I'm going to go home, take a hot shower, and jump in bed, and I think we'll be back at it tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday, so maybe I get out here a little earlier, and it's going to be a little warmer, so we'll see y'all tomorrow. All right, we're back in day number 2 of this. Did find out the Helix requires a 5 amp fuse. The GPSMap requires 6 amp. I did think about it, and I did come up with another question. I'm not sure where the Livescope black box gets its power, so I'm going to investigate that before fully diving into wiring the GPS map to that particular set of wires for the second graph. So I'm going to investigate that, and then I'll give you guys a little update. Today is quite a bit warmer. I should be able to actually move the temperature up a little bit in here. So it should be a little more bearable. Okay, so we got her all wired up. We tested her out. Everything works great. The Helix is fused properly. The Livescope's fused properly. I need to get a 6 amp fuse for the GPS map. I don't have one on hand. I have a 5 and a 7.5. So I went with a 5 for now. I'll go pick one up before I wrap this project up and go stab a 6 amp in there just because that's what it recommends. But let's take a look at my wiring job real quick. Oh, wrong way. Bring her on down. There you go. So, not the red light. Let's lighten it up for you though. Here's my wiring job. Had these 2 connectors already there. Nitro did a really good job there. So I just had to put the other 2 fittings on there. Heat strengthed it. I wish I had heat shrink that was big enough to go around the entire connector, but I didn't. Since you guys mentioned it, I'll probably go ahead and just put some electrical tape around these so they don't come undone. But it looks pretty good. Everything tested out well. So So I don't have any concerns about this electrical job. So most importantly, I have comfort in my electrical job. I kind of know more about the electrical system. If something does happen, I know that there are no fuses under here. So if a system doesn't power up for some reason, there's no fuses under here that I have to dig and get into. That was really important to me because honestly, getting in there was a pain in the butt. So I don't want to do that again. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this project up. We'll go ahead and mount all the graphs, and I'll show you guys what it looks like when it's all done. So see y'all in a few minutes. So I do recognize the lighting is not the best. I've been trying to get this done for a couple days, so I've just been trucking through it. So I want to show you guys the results here. So let's look. So there we go. Those are our two units. That's the Helix 12 on top, and then we got the Livescope on bottom. I'm working on getting it updated with the phone there. We're just downloading the update right now. So I am pretty happy at how this project turned out. Everything's working as it should. On top of that, both the screens are in the same plane. They look really good together. Only thing I need to worry about is maybe, I don't know how well y'all can see. Let's get y'all some light in there. How well this cable will come out every time. I can route it below here. You'll kind of hear at the bottom, and it'll be under the fish finder. I might have to try a couple ways and see which way works the best. Once again, I understand the lighting is terrible right now, but I'm trying to record this, try to get some videos out to you guys. I've been kind of lame here lately. So I want to get content back out to you guys. Been working on all this stuff for a while, and so far, hey, I'm pretty happy. We're making some good progress. I don't think I'm going to be able to get the perspective mount installed tonight. I will probably come back out and do that tomorrow. So we'll be going into day 3 of this project. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I'm going to clean up some of this mess and kind of get it straightened up, and well, maybe get the unit updated, and then we'll go ahead and finish this project. Okay, so it's been a couple days since that last video, and I was working on getting my new unit updated and attaching this perspective mount. Let's take a look at it real quick. There's the old perspective mount, looking pretty good there. Got the little arm. It goes underneath. Everything's looking real clean, real sharp. Instead of going back with zip ties, which are dangerous for your transducer cables, I did electrical tape on my wires all the way through. You know, we're always going to have some of this going on when that happens, but we can always put some more tape on or redo it. So overall, I am very impressed with my project. Upgrading from a 9-inch to a 12-inch is immense. Now, I've already been on the water testing it, just going out playing around a little bit with my buddy, and holy moly, 12 inches is so much bigger than 9 inches. That sounds really bad, so we'll rephrase that. Okay, maybe not. But anyways, the new unit is actually so much better than the old unit. I'm actually very pleased with it. It also can upgrade with the new features, which makes me really happy as well. So if you're interested in doing projects like this, let me know in the comments below. I'll keep them coming. But until next time, get out there and go catch you some fish.